Hello, hello. I know I was supposed to stream yesterday, but I didn't get to. I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Music is kind of loud. Take music down, please. What does this look like now? Is it okay? Is it still too loud? I feel like it's still a bit too loud, maybe. It's like here. I don't know what these really are, but I guess we'll see. They should be okay, right? I think I'll turn the sound effects on a bit more up. Is this okay? I hope so. It sounds fine to me when I'm listening to it, but I don't know. Let me know if my voice is too low, if the music is too low. Maybe just a tiny bit higher. I don't know. Does it do anything? Is this okay? Bro, my stream is late like hell. Let me refresh. What's happening? I think it's fine. Load. Okay. And if it could not be muted, that would be great. I think it's okay. I don't know. I'll keep it like this, maybe. Okay, so before we begin, a bit of story time. So, I don't even know when this happened. Like, I think it was like 2015. I think it was like 2015 when I was like, okay, let me play something. Then I think I was looking through Steam, see what games I could play, right? And I saw this game pop up, and it had some like, I mean, yeah, it was a visual novel. I didn't really know what visual novels were back then. I'd never played one before, nor do I think I've heard the term visual novel before that. But yeah, I saw this thing, and I saw that it had some 18 plus aspects like nudity and stuff. And for my like monkey brain back then, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So I started playing it, and it really got me invested into the actual story and the characters and everything. Yeah, so it wasn't just about the nudity anymore after not so long, really, of me playing. And I got really invested into the game and did all the endings, did everything that you could possibly do. And yeah, it had a real, I don't know, effect on me. It left a very good impression. After I started playing more visual novels, and then at some point I saw that the developers were working on another game, and I was like, hell yeah, bro, let's go. And it was I don't know, I think it was a Kickstarter campaign. You had to pay like $10 to basically get the game and support the people. But the problem was I wasn't yet 18, so I didn't have a credit card. So there was no way I could pay for this. I can just ask my parents to like pay for this game and explain how I started playing like basically a sex game before that, and I liked it, so now I want to play this one. I mean, a sex game isn't what it was, but you get what I'm saying. That's why I started it. So yeah. And then after I turned 18 and I got well, not a credit card but a debit card, bro, the first thing I did with my money, put it into this game. And watch this. Boom, baby, that's me. Look at that. That's me. Right there. Hell yeah. I did this. Yeah, and the game got... I mean, it took so long. It moved over to Indiegogo after a while. And I've been keeping up with it for the past, like, I don't know, like 6 years? Something. Yeah. Should be like 6 years. It got delayed again and again. But now it's finally here. It released like a week ago. Last Thursday. I didn't get to play because I wasn't streaming. And Friday I did the last Naruto stream. But now I can finally play this. After so many years, I can finally play this game. I'm excited. I don't really know if this one has nudity. I don't think so. Right? Because from what I remember, there was a whole thing with Steam and nudity being kind of weird. So that's why it doesn't have... Or I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if it does or it doesn't. Which kind of scary, because I should look this up, right? I shouldn't get surprised and banned off Twitch, right, for something like this. So I should do my research before I actually start. I mean, in the beginning, there's not gonna be anything, but let me see if I can find anything about this. It's not that popular of a game. I mean, right now, I looked at how many viewers there are on Twitch, like 20. And everyone basically is Russian because the guys, Soviet Games, the developers are Russian. Oh, and you saw that the backers, all of them are Russian as well. And a lot of English streams. I think I saw one English stream when I looked into it like a couple days ago. But that's pretty much it. So, if you're not a Russian speaker, then this is a place for you. One of the few places where you can enjoy this game. Okay, so it doesn't have nudity. Because, yeah, team in Russia and something. I don't really know what's up with this, but there doesn't seem to be any, at least on the Steam version. We love that. No ban for me. Okay. We can move on then. And we'll be safe, I think. Yeah, I just tried this game out. I didn't actually play it. I just tested to see if everything works correctly. I played the demo a while back, like a couple years ago. But yeah, I don't really remember anything. Anyway, let's go. I won't be doing voices for the characters because that's cringe. I'm not good at voice acting. So I will spare you the torment. Okay, we started in 1987. Quite a while ago. Man, need a glass of water. I have to read a lot out loud. Okay, let's go. Story time, baby. Don't really have the voice like that's very soothing or attractive or anything, but I'll do my best to make this enjoyable. Hopefully, it will be for you. Okay. These falling sakura petals. Does anyone really find them beautiful? Why is sakura like blue? Kind of like in Steins Gate there was like a okay. Let's see. Help. Controls. Nothing. Notes. Yeah, Sakura Japanese cherry blossom. The Japanese don't know if you when addressing male friends or juniors. Slash subordinates. Is there like a fast way to go to notes? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Does anyone really see a deep meaning? Sorry, let me read that again. Does anyone really see a deep meaning in their world? Maybe this interplay of color, the purple velvet against the setting sun, does mesmerize. Back then, I must have thought the same as I watched the leaves fall. Maybe too much time has passed. I have forgotten. I have changed. Only the trees are still the same. They don't care. They came into the world before me and they will yet outlive my descendants. They don't care for the beauty of their falling petals, their speed, direction, or angle. It's all the same to them. Why would they bother with such minutiae? How you read this? Bro, this language is kind of crazy. Who speaks like this? To them, this is nothing more than a routine change of the seasons. To me, though, it is a flood of memories. The tree in front of me now is exactly the same as it was that day. The day when I had to do something. The day when it was too late to do anything. It's the same. The same are the petals too, falling with perfidious indifference. Bro, who speaks like this? They truly don't care. They don't care if one day a photographer makes an entire exhibition of their images, or if a pair of sweethearts falls even more deeply in love, enchanted by their ceaseless dance. That's how nature is. It's not how I am. Same as that day a year ago. That day the petals were falling off the trees as well. Back then too, nature was lying down, not dying, no, but falling asleep, to wake up again in the spring, its fire of life rekindled. Sitting under this tree, I remember all the joy and all the sadness. Do you really love me? Yes. Truly? Yes. She turned away, while the petals kept falling, getting tangled in her hair and making her look even more beautiful. You know, cherry petals really suit you. She turned around. She probably didn't want to. Should probably at least make my voice deeper for the narrator. Or something to at least differentiate between narration and characters. Because, as I said, I'm not going to voice act. I'm not going to do a high-pitched voice for the girls. So at least I have to do at least something, right? You probably expected something else. Elegant phrases, intelligent words. Something that wasn't this. Really? Yes, of course. She smiled. I too must have expected something different. Feelings, confessions, as beautiful as those fluttering petals. But at that time, those words were more important to me than anything else. More important than the tree. More important than the moment. More important than life itself. Because I realized that they were like a petal resting in my hand before it fell to the ground. So near, so fragile, so precious. Okay, it's June now. 2 months have passed. That's a nice room. Yeah. I woke up. The fan was humming as obnoxiously as ever. Its noise must have been what woke me up. I was sick of it, of course, but it was a necessary evil. The summer heat was relentless, even with the doors open. It was 3 in the morning, and the silence was sickening. Dear God, better to hear the blaring of police sirens or the shouting of a tipsy neighbor or the screeching of car tires. Anything but this obnoxious fan. I would have turned it off long ago, but then I would have certainly been cooked alive by the heat. Hell, Russian winters had nothing on Japanese summers. Man, the backgrounds are looking really clean. Nice. Okay. I like the little detail to like the fan in the background spinning. Like that. With effort, I got up and went to the kitchen for some water. What were Russian winters like anyway? Oh, you hear that? It's like a... I don't know how loud it was on stream. It was, for me, it was very, what's the word? Very silent, yeah. I don't want it to be a little bit more, a little bit louder. Is it ambience or... I think the ambience is... Okay, let's do like this. Let's put the ambience on as well. Is this too much? The ambience, I'm assuming, is this background noise that we're hearing. I can barely hear the ambience on stream though. Wait, let me know if I'm doing something wrong here. Should I turn this? Let me turn the music on. Turn this. Let me turn this all the way up, bro. We'll just do it like this. Okay. Okay, now you can hear the ambience. It's a bit too loud, right? Yeah, it's a bit too loud, I think. Let's see. Let's do it like this, maybe. Is this better? I feel like there's no difference. No, I think it's okay now. Right? Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay. Awful creaking came from the floorboards under my feet. But the rest of the house, which consisted of 3 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, and some pantries, paid no attention to its sole inhabitant. 3 bedrooms? Damn. Damn. It really was 3 a.m. I gulped the water down greedily, spilling half over myself, bro. What? Next morning I had to go to school. Had to. Why exactly? I asked myself this too, back in the day. Maybe I was the one who came up with these stupid duties and responsibilities, straddling myself with the necessity of socializing and waiting for the useless piece of paper that would attest to me possessing a high school education. Bro, who actually talks like this? I must have invented this world myself, as was my wont. Bro. Who? Who talks like this? No one. I must have made it up alongside all the other worlds that I fabricate daily. For myself, for those I knew, for the whole world. Okay, big man. Whatever you say. These obligations were nothing but stupid conventions of that world. Okay, we got an edgelord. It's how you would call this. By a stroke of bad luck, it was also the world that most people viewed as the real one. I poured myself another glass of water and returned to bed. Yeah, it's a lot better with the ambience now. You can actually hear the fan. think I'll shut up sometimes just to let the ambience, like, do its thing. Because when I speak, you can't really hear it anymore. The moon shone brightly, animating every speck of dust. In its mournful light, my room looked entirely different, like a portal to another world. A world that was beyond even my imagination. A silver ray fell on the table, inching towards a heap of papers. School papers, an unfinished novel, letters. From my mother, from friends in Russia. And I got up and put a particular scrap of paper into a drawer. Has it been a year since it arrived? Or why should it even bother me? Then again, why was it on my table? I should have tossed it long ago. I jumped up, took a step towards the table, and came to a halt. How could I? Not as if I hadn't tried before. More than once. The phone rang loudly. Very loudly. It was 3 in the morning. Who could possibly need to talk to me at this hour? To a dejected high schooler sunk in self-reflection. Although I was used to it. Answer and don't answer, bro. If I'm correct, this is the exact same thing that the exact same first choice as Everlasting Summer. Because you meet the blonde girl at the entrance, and then you have the choice to answer or don't answer. Pretty sure that's the thing. So I appreciate this. I appreciate this. And I only know this because I recently watched a video on Everlasting Summer and I saw this first question pop up. So, yeah, my memory is kind of bad. So I wouldn't have noticed this otherwise. But now I do. And now I appreciate it. Thank you. And apparently this is the choice I already picked when I was skimming through to see what it looks like a bit, you know. Okay, let's answer. Yes. Hello. Hi. You're not asleep? As you can tell. Duh, bro, I answered the phone. I felt a strong desire to hang up and disconnect the phone. But stronger still, I wished that she could be here now, close by. How come? How should I know? Probably because you called me. Bruh. Okay, Sigma male. He mumbled something unintelligible. How are things in general? How should things be in general at 3 in the morning? Bro, stop. Stop being like this. I don't know. Great. Then they're great. Oh, quit it. Well, what did you want to hear? I just wanted to call. You thought it was okay to call at 3 a.m.? Bro, stop. You weren't sleeping. I saw the light come on in your kitchen, so I figured you were up. Are you spying on me? No, I was just... I went silent for a few seconds. You must have been trying to think of something that wouldn't sound too ridiculous. Just that I couldn't sleep either. Why either? What if I had been sleeping? But you weren't. Alright, let's start from the beginning. What did you want? I wanted to know... He paused mid-sentence, as if working up the courage before continuing more confidently. Are you coming to school tomorrow? Wait, let me check the music actually. Because now that I changed the volume. Oh, the music seems fine, right? Maybe a bit too loud, maybe just like a tiny bit. Let me do it like this maybe. Okay, what if I am? Then I'll come get you in the morning. Now that's just great. It's 3 in the morning and you're going to come by. When? In 3 hours? So we won't be late. You know what? I think I'm going to pass. Hey, you can't keep missing school. This way you won't be able to graduate. And then you won't be able to find a good job. And then you got entirely tangled up in predictions of my future. Oh well, no biggie. It won't be a biggie. Leave the door unlocked. In the morning You have your keys. What does it matter if I lock the door? Alright. See you in the morning then. See you. I didn't feel like arguing. What was the point anyway? She would come and wake me up regardless. Let's go. Childhood friend. Hell yeah. It's what she did almost every day. Why did I ever give her keys? Well, that was a while back. It must have been about a year. The cherry petals were probably falling on that day as well. But to hell with them. I made sure to set my alarm so I'd be up before she came. Not that it mattered much, but this was getting old. What's more, I worried that I was getting too accustomed to it, seeing her familiar face every morning. Dependent, even, which was something I absolutely couldn't allow to happen. So if she wanted to come in the morning, fine, but she wouldn't be waking me up again. Oh, now it's September. Okay, it's not the next morning. A 100 bells chimed with 100 melodies in my head, announcing the morning. That clock, I'm sorry. I was praising the attention to detail, but this clock does not show the morning bird. This clock shows like 1:50. It's not morning. Not good, bro. In that medley were the cheerful chirping of the birds, the construction on a neighboring street, the boisterous shouts of street vendors, the damned fan that hadn't quit humming for a second, and the grumpy muttering somewhere close by. Oh, hello. The fixed gaze of large green eyes, the pouting lips, and the two red braids all informed that I had slept in. Informed me. What time is it? The girl picked up the alarm clock and shoved it in my face. But it's still early, I protested. The early bird gets the worm. This is Himitsu. I feel like I've known her my whole life. Or at least since my parents and I moved to Japan. Her mother is Russian, although she divorced Himitsu's father when we were still children. Okay. Enough lounging around. Time to get up, wash up, eat breakfast, and go to school. Bro, what I appreciate is the huge, like, insane improvement in art. Backgrounds were nice back then as well, but the characters were pretty bad. Like, the characters weren't drawn that well. I mean, they were okay. Like, they were okay, nothing crazy, but they weren't good. I'll have to say this. But now, we have it animated, it's a lot cleaner, and it looks great. What can I say? So, props to that. This is how most of my days start. Though after all these years, I've grown used to it. Incidentally, I forgot to introduce myself. Nikolai, a high school senior. Wait, you're introducing to the reader? So you broke the fourth wall right now. Okay. Nikko-kun. I find it cringe, bro. Like, why do you have to say this? Why do you have to say kun in English? You shouldn't do this. Just say Nico. Okay? It doesn't matter in Japan. I don't like this. Even if... Yeah. I don't like this. So, I don't know if I should say Nico. Or Nico-kun. Should I say Nico-kun? Okay, I'll just say Nico-kun, I guess. Himitsu's voice carried throughout the entire house, and it no longer felt quite so empty and lonely. I quickly showered and dressed, then went into the kitchen. This house really was too big for one person. In fact, it was probably designed for a multi-generational family. Grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren. All the empty space felt oppressive even when my parents were still with me. Now it felt like a museum or a library. Who in their right mind would want to live in one of those, especially by themselves? Bon appetit! Same to you. An omelette and several kinds of salads graced the table. Okay. God love the music. Hell yeah. I didn't expect it to be this, poppy? What do you say it? Okay. Has a nice beat to it. I like it. I picked up a piece of cucumber with my chopsticks and lazily rolled it around the plate. Not hungry? I am, but I can't live off grass like a rabbit. Himitsu frowned. All the different facial expressions? Bro, this is such great quality. Like, at least from what it was back then. But what I will do is, as much as I love this, I almost can't hear my own voice because I have headphones on. Yeah. I don't want it to be too low. Like, I still want you guys to hear it. This should be... We'd actually turn it even more down. I'm sorry. As I said, I love the beat, but I just want to be able to hear my voice and my thoughts. Oh. But it's so low on this on stream. Oh, I'm stupid. I'll just turn down my headphones. Bro, why am I so dumb? Okay. Yeah, this is a bit too loud now, even on stream. Well, how about this? Yeah, it seems okay. Right? Okay. So instant ramen is better in your book? I know what ramen is, bro. I'm not gonna look at the notes for that. I don't know about better, but it's certainly tastier. Hey. She puffed out her cheeks comically, which made her look like a cute hamster. I put real work into it, you know. Heyo. I could say nothing to counter that, so I concentrated on chewing. What are you planning to do after school today? I don't know. Kyosuke wanted to go to the movies, I think. Did you have another idea? She set her chopsticks aside and looked at me intently, as if about to say something important. Maybe. She laughed, trying to hide her embarrassment. Never mind, it's not important. Himitsu is in love with me. Oh, let's go. Wife, already. I've known this for a long time, but have done nothing about it. At some point, I grew so used to it that I couldn't tell anymore whether she loves me as a brother or a man. Bro. I mean, this is kind of scummy behavior. I'll say it, it's kind of scummy. To be perfectly honest, I didn't care one way or another. Yeah, that's kind of scummy, bro. Like, you can't really do this. You can't really, you know, lead a girl or like anyone on like this. It's not okay. If you want to go somewhere, I can reschedule the movie. It can do without me tonight. Her face gleamed with an earnest smile. Well, actually, I wanted to check out this one store near the station. It just opened. The girls at school won't stop talking about it. Someone else in my shoes might have considered this a date. But I simply enjoyed spending time with Himitsu. She seemed content with our arrangement too. You haven't finished your breakfast. Nor did I plan to. I might still have to eat more grass for lunch. Why don't you ever make borscht or dumplings or something? Borscht isn't breakfast. And besides, I've made it before. Himitsu pouted. She had made it before, true, but not the same way I remember from my childhood. I wasn't about to tell her that. It's one thing not to know how to do something. You can always learn. It's quite another to both know and do, yet fail to meet expectations. If that's the case, there's a good chance that you'll never learn. You're right, sorry. Your borscht is very good. Borscht. Yeah. Borscht. I repeated. Himitsu glared at me. Anyone else in her place would have long since emptied this bowl of imaginary borscht over my head. So, what's this story we're talking about? I sell clothes. She kept staring at me. Dresses, sweaters, skirts, clothing. Women's clothing. Do you think maybe you should go with one of your girlfriends then? I'm not saying no, it just might be a bit awkward. Why? I don't know. Just the way things are here. And you know how I'm not always great with the local customs. I was telling the truth. Anyone else would have long since gotten used to the Japanese way of life, to Japanese traditions and cultural norms. At least to the ways of the local high schoolers. No one's going to think anything. It's not like we're... Himitsu was now completely flustered, which was making her upset. I couldn't tell if she was more upset with me or with herself. Sometimes when I talked to Himitsu, and not only her, I would hit a dead end. I no longer knew what was expected of me, while the other person couldn't understand why I didn't get it. Okay, classic visual novel protagonist. In the end, the entire meaning of... Actually, not visual novel protagonist, because the player is a protagonist, so... Yeah. Like anime harem protagonist. In the end, the entire meaning of the conversation would end up buried under an avalanche of misunderstanding, which snowballed with every new remark. At such times, it was better to agree or to remain silent. Alright, it's fine. No one's going to think anything. Why would they? Exactly. Himitsu said triumphantly and went to wash the dishes. Front cut is stacked with this house. Like, look at it. It looks so nice. What was this kind of weather early in the fall called in Russia? Grandma's summer? Okay, this thing. I don't know what it means. What is Grandma's summer? It's the Russian equivalent to Indian summer. The warm period at the beginning of autumn. Okay. I never heard of Indian summer either, but sure. In Japan, at any rate, it was still very hot at the beginning of September. Himitsu walked alongside me, smiling. I occasionally glanced over at her, trying to figure out what was on her mind. I like all the, you can see my mouse, but, what is posters? See on the walls here on the right. Oh, the barrier's moving. It's gonna be a train. Come on. There it is. It looks kind of weird, but hey, that's cool. Have the vending machine here on the left. These things at the konbini, pan. What does that say? Saka? Uki. Okay. And then... Tori biru. Okay. Not that I was particularly interested. More likely, I was just trying to distract myself from my own thoughts. The image of the falling cherry petals kept surfacing in my mind, dragging up painful memories. As for Himitsu, she never broached the subject. I think I missed something. Wait a minute. He glanced over at her, trying to figure out what was on her mind. Yeah. After Himitsu, she never broached the subject. Was she keen to avoid reopening the wound, or was she just showing tact? Hey, to Nico-kun. Do you copy? Bro, I just say Nico, bro. Nico-kun is kind of weird to say in English. To Nico, do you copy? Huh? What? I had clearly been daydreaming. We're almost there and you're still sleeping. Himitsu knit her brow. As always, her displeasure looked more comical than intimidating. I'm not sleeping. I'm solving the world's problems in my head. Oh yeah? What sort of problems? She laughed. The political sort? Not even. Geopolitical. Who else would solve them if not yours truly? Your grades are a little underwhelming for a future politician. Bro. Bro, come on. Politicians and good grades. Bro. That's very wishful thinking. That's not important. There have been plenty of great people who didn't get the best grades in school. Take Einstein, for instance. I see. Himitsu smirked. Classic Japanese school. We would have... Bro, what is this? Damn, this funky. Okay. Is something gonna happen? We would have probably kept chit-chatting like this if it weren't for a scuffle happening that moment. Oh, a scuffle at the school gate. Several people had surrounded the girl. From a distance, we couldn't see who it was. Look, said Himitsu quietly, slowing down. I listened in. She probably wears the same skirt all year. It must be a hand-me-down from her older sister. How does a bum like her even get admitted to our school? It's not a halfway house. Go work at the fish market. Careful now, you might catch something from her. Not like I was going to, you know, with her. Hey, you're onto something. I bet that's how she spends her nights, earning a little side cash. Poor thing. Himitsu paused for a second. Isn't she in your class? I looked more closely. It did look familiar. I think so. I look kind of handsome, bro. Look at me. Hey. Okay. Okay. I'm not like a faceless, eyeless protagonist. I look kind of nice. I don't have black hair, which is nice. I mean, I guess I'm Russian, so makes sense. Are you saying you don't even know who your classmates are? Of course I do. That's Nakahita Iwamura. I fixed my hair and looked triumphantly at Himitsu. He was not impressed. In fact, she's our class president. Wait, really? And this how people treat... Does the president not get chosen by the other classmates? Himitsu was still looking at me reproachfully. Well, what? I've never spoken much with her. And anyway, this is the first time we're together in the same class, so it's only been 6 months. Meanwhile, the scuffle, if you could call it that, was picking up steam. The girl remained stubbornly silent, only dropping her head lower with every minute. This only continued to encourage the bullies. Come on, who would pay money for someone like her? Except maybe a couple hundred yen. The speaker made a show of opening his wallet, stuffed with bills, pulling out a handful and waving them in front of Iwamura. This is really getting out of hand, I muttered under my breath. But the other students walked right on past, pretending not to notice anything. These damn traditions again. This isn't right. True. Bro. Nico, don't. Let's just tell the teacher. Mitsu tugged lightly at my sleeve. What is the teacher going to do? Scold them? My, aren't you ashamed of yourselves? I need to get worked up. Try to think about it. What business of mine was this? Nah, bro, step in, bro. You can't let this happen. Fellow classmate? So what? Bro, it's a fellow human being that's being bullied. Doesn't matter if he's your classmate or not, bro. Come on. I hadn't exchanged more than a couple of words with her before this day. Still, it was hard to watch the one poor girl getting picked apart by an entire pack. Yeah, bro, of course I'll intervene. What the fuck is this? Why should I stay on the sidelines? What if Himitsu were in her place? After all, we weren't exactly the richest kids at this school either. Sorry. Himitsu only smiled slightly in response. Hey. I yelled and headed confidently in their direction. Leave her alone. At first, they just looked at me in surprise. Iwamura, on the other hand, kept staring at the ground and didn't react at all. Oh, hell yeah, the like, biker haircut. Let's go. What was his name? The guy from Yu Yu Hakusho? I forget. That haircut. Hell yeah. It's called the Pompadour, right? I think. And who would you be? What do you care? Keep walking. Their tone was challenging, but that only boosted my confidence. 4 against 1. Don't you think that's a bit unfair? You want some too? Is that it? 2 guys from the group stepped forward, cracking their knuckles for emphasis. Seems like they could do more than talk trash. Okay, time to pull out the anime protagonist skills, bro. Fuck them up. What's the hero gonna do now? One of them smirked. Yeah, what? Tell the truth, I didn't know either. I've been compelled to stand up for Iwamura by some kind of inflamed sense of justice, no more. Because here, you weren't supposed to act this way, and there, you were supposed to help your neighbor. Yeah. But I'm not gonna hit you, bro. If you hit me, you're gonna be in trouble. But real life is a manga or anime. In real life, I had no superpowers. You're about to find out. I got close to one of them and froze. And what now? Bro, you shouldn't have said that, bro. But the guy staggered back, clearly rattled. Who do you think you are? Same instant, the second guy rushed up to me, clearly intending to shove me in the chest. My reflexes kicked in before I could think. Bro, I punched him? Bro, you can't do this. You can't. Oh my god, bro, what the fuck? You can't punch him. You can't punch. Now you're the bad guy. Jesus Christ. Out swung my arm. Crack came the sound of the assailant's jaw. The world around me seemed to freeze. Iwamura, the other girls, and even the guy who I just punched. All stared, seemingly transfixed with surprise. This only lasted an instant. Do you have any idea who my father is? Well, I literally don't give a shit, but yeah, I shouldn't have done that. One of the girls shouted, "Don't yell, let's just go." Some sort of psycho. The girl tried to calm her friend down. Bro, he was just a punch, like I didn't kill him. But yeah, not a good thing to do. Yeah, pretty bad. A pretty bad thing. The second I helped his fallen friend up from the ground. This isn't over. We remember you. These words, they quickly headed away from the school. Mitsu rushed over to me the same instant. Nico, are you alright? Yes, of course. I replied calmly while examining my slightly swollen fist. Surprisingly, I wasn't shaking with adrenaline, as might have been expected. Everything must have happened too suddenly. Iwamura senpai. Yeah, senpai, I will say that. I will say that. In all the commotion, I had forgotten all about the chief cause of this kerfuffle. She stood silently, peering sullenly at us from under her eyebrows. Are you alright? Fighting is prohibited on school grounds, she said quietly. What? A damn smile spread across my face. I looked over at Himitsu. He looked just as confused as I was. I'm saying that there was no need to get into a fight. That's true. It's true, bro. You shouldn't have done that. In case you haven't noticed, I was kind of defending... Bro, stop. You fucked up. They would have left it in the end. Iwamura went silent for a second. Then looked up at me. Her eyes flashed. But just as quickly, her indifferent demeanor returned. They always do. Regardless, you can at least say thank you. It's just common courtesy. I was even more upset now than a minute earlier. Not only here, but in the whole wide world. Iwamura's only response was to raise her chin, snort, and quickly make her way towards the school gate. That's just unreal. I told you not to get involved. Bro, I should have gotten involved but not punched the guy in the face. Himitsu said quietly. But you did act like a real hero. Some hero, right? Or have you seen heroes like this? In movies, the heroes get thanked for saving someone. You didn't do it for the sake of gratitude, did you? Himitsu kept smiling, which made me flustered. We'll see what sort of gratitude the teachers give me, I grumbled. Come on, let's go. Another routine school day had now begun. But there's only women, girls, in my classroom. Oh, the clock is ticking. No way, that's a working clock. Just the second hand that moves, right? Yeah. Okay. But still, that's really cool. I couldn't remember my Russian school at all, even though I'd attended it for an entire 6 months. But for some reason, it seemed to me that schools were more or less the same everywhere in the world. As were people. Really, how many ways could there be to get stuff into a kid's noggin? If Marconi and Popov could, independently of each other, invent the radio, why couldn't identical best practices emerge in education at opposite ends of the earth? A shout from the teacher snapped me out of these thoughts. Whatever school was like in Russia, school here was pretty strict. There was a reason, after all, why this was one of the best schools in the country. My class consisted largely of the children of rich and famous businessmen, politicians, showbiz stars. Sometimes I felt out of place here. Then, even among this elite, there were people who were almost ordinary. Oh look, some guys as well. One such person, Kyosuke, came up to me during break. I had known Kyosuke since middle school. He came across as a down-to-earth guy with none of the attitude of the local privileged youth. Hey Nick, did you hear what happened this morning? I looked around the classroom and spotted one of the girls that had been harassing Iwamura. She gave me a mean look, but then quickly went back to what she had been doing. Whatever. No, what happened? I asked, even though I knew perfectly well what Kyosuke was referring to. This morning at the school gate. Kyosuke lowered his voice. It was a brawl. Some word for it. Can they think of a better one? Yeah, well, I'm aware. What do you mean? Did you... His eyes lit up. He leaned in towards me and then continued at a rapid-fire pace. Are you the guy? The one who punched Kurosaki from Class B? Oh, let's go. Bleach reference, let's go. Somehow I neglected to ask his name. I answered proudly, and immediately winced. There was nothing to be proud of here. Now everyone was going to gossip about what a dangerous bully I was, and no one was going to remember that I had actually saved a poor girl from harassment. Don't get the wrong idea, I was just defending... Eyes were scouring the classroom in search of Iwamura. Was defending, but she wasn't there. Was I really looking to her for proof of my heroic deed? For a confirmation that I wasn't just a troublemaker? Well, anyway, I was defending a girl. A girl? Who? Kyosuke squinted. Don't know who she is. Anyway, what's it matter? It was a natural reaction, you know? Anyone in my place. I looked up at Kyosuke. Any decent person would have done the same. Uh-huh, yeah, sure. Don't forget to introduce me to this mystery girl of yours. No, okay, there's... Nice. Waiting for the second half. He seemed to want to add something, but at that moment the school bell rang. He didn't need to know that the girl was Iwamura. She had it pretty rough as it was. Then again, maybe part of the blame lay with her. Next lesson was contemporary Japanese. I've been in Japan for 10 years now and speak the language fluently, of course, but writing still gives me grief at times. When the break arrived, I rushed out of the classroom to avoid a continued conversation about the morning's incident. Kyosuke could be pushy and persistent, but he didn't entirely lack tact, so I was probably being too cautious. English was next. It came much more easily to me. I spent the better part of the lesson gazing out at the sports ground, where a soccer match was taking place. Soon, my thoughts took me far from school, to the day when the cherry petals were falling. Fall was here. That meant that the trees would soon be shedding their foliage again. Color palette might be different this time, but would my feelings remain the same? A couple more weeks, a month at most, and I would know. Oh, come on, don't stop the bell. The bell recalled me to reality, and my stomach started gurgling noisily. Didn't have breakfast today? Let's make a cafeteria run. You're always ready to chow down. Where there's a whole body, there's a whole mind. A whole lot of body, more like it. I was, however, really hungry. But I didn't want to wait till lunch. Alright, let's go. The memory of Himitsu's healthy, balanced breakfast was still fresh in my mind. I wanted to eat something unhealthy but delicious. I'm getting hungry, bro. Sadly, food poisoning was not on the menu. Cafeteria, like everything else at this school, was first rate. I couldn't tell you if the food here was on par with what they serve in the world's top restaurants, as I hadn't been to one, but on the whole, I had no complaints. Besides, the menu had plenty of European options. No borscht among them, of course. Oh, even that clock moves, but it shows the same hour as the other one. We entered the cafeteria. Kyosuke was babbling on about some new magical girl anime. Couldn't call... there's a mistake. There's a grammar mistake, bro, and it's pretty early in. I wouldn't call myself a huge anime fan, but I watch them sometimes too. So, if you had to put my enthusiasm for them on a scale, I was as far from Kyosuke as Tokyo from Moscow. Suddenly, bam! Something jabbed my side, not too hard, but enough to be felt. On top of that, I was doused with a liquid. A girl holding a tray popped up from behind. I was dripping with orange juice, while she gazed in bewilderment at the fruit of her labor. Hey, careful! I was more frustrated than angry. She didn't react in any way. Instead, she just kept looking at me in surprise. Finally, she seemed to come to her senses. You're the one who should watch where you're going. What? Let's go, soon the right time. I was so taken aback, I smiled like an idiot and even retreated a step. Meanwhile, the girl scowled and glared at me. I said, watch where you go instead of sleepwalking. You were actually the one who bumped into me. Why would I bump into you? I was lost for an answer. The girl was talking nonsense, but she was doing it so confidently that I couldn't help but question my own judgment. And why would I? How should I know? You're the one who bumped into me. Alright, you got me. It won't happen again. I snapped back and was prepared to leave. Wait, she said quietly. You're, well, all wet. I looked myself over. Not the prettiest of pictures, to be sure. And what do you suggest? A joint trip to the shower? Bro. Who says this? What? Bro, this is sexual harassment. Why would you say this? Me? How could you even think? The surprising confusion on her face gave way to indignation. He was an insulted and humiliated victim, and I the culprit, naturally. Okay, just forget it. Everything's fine. Wait. Her tone changed faster than the weather in the tropics. Here, take this. She handed me a handkerchief. I accepted it without an argument and was about to thank her, when she snorted, turned on her heel, and left to join her girlfriends at the far end of the cafeteria. What a strange girl. Nick, you... Started Kyosuke when I sat down at our table. But flaring his nostrils and gasping like a fish out of water. Do you know who that was? No. Who? That was Eli-sama. He looked probingly at me as though expecting me to exclaim, "Oh, Eli-sama, you mean her?" Sama who? I inquired coolly. How can you not know? And you want people to believe you're a student here? I don't want that. That's what the paperwork says. If only you paid more attention to what goes on around you. Alright, enough suspense already. Just tell me. He was clearly chomping at the bit. Kyosuke repositioned himself more comfortably on his chair, assumed a serious look, and began. Eli-sama, she's like the school queen. She has perfect grades, she's great at sports, she's won awards at the national... No, not even. The international level. Not the interplanetary? What a relief. Anyone would consider it an honor to be acquainted with her. To have her spill a drink on you? Is that what you mean? Kyosuke ignored me and carried on. I'd give up my entire manga collection to ever start a conversation with me. Bro, simp master. Stop. Your entire collection? Okay, half. I squinted. Fine, a third. Alright, I get it. I should expect the police to show up at my door now and await my sentence. Death by glares. Except, hold on a second. I'm completely innocent. What even was that sentence, bro? You don't get it at all. Kyosuke sighed. Then again, maybe you should expect the police. After all, her grandfather is the chairman of the school's board of directors. What am I supposed to do now? Keep apologizing to her? She was the one who bumped into me and spilled juice all over me. He sighed again and returned to eating. I turned slowly and looked in the direction of the school queen. Judging by the lively conversation and laughter coming from the table, at least I had already forgotten all about the incident with my lowly serf self. The juice dried pretty quickly, leaving behind noticeable yellow stains on my white shirt. People in the background speak Japanese, right? I think it sounds like Japanese. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't really care about my appearance, but the school had its standards and didn't take kindly to such sloppiness. So I had to change it to a jersey and a track jacket. After another uneventful lesson, it was time for the long break. Also known as lunchtime. Had I agreed to meet Himitsu for lunch? I couldn't remember. I could just go for a stroll around the school, seeing as I'd eaten only an hour earlier. Did I say we were gonna go? No, we said we would go to the store. We didn't say anything about lunch. Right? I'll go for a stroll. One thing was certain, I couldn't stay in the classroom. Actually, I just didn't want to listen to Kyosuke's empty chatter for another half hour. More stories about anime, manga, and school gossip. Stories every day, all equally meaningless. Not that I didn't like Kyosuke, he was a good friend. But I doubted he could be of much assistance when my mind was occupied with something altogether different from magical girls. I wasn't going to have lunch with Himitsu, but I told Kyosuke otherwise. The hallways in the schoolyard were all crowded with students. That's when it dawned on me. The roof. The roof wasn't the most popular spot. I wonder why. I quickly stopped by the cafeteria to pick up some rolls and a bottle of milk. Oh, nice landscape. Okay. The door's hinges, badly in need of lubrication, screeched horribly as a powerful gust of wind welcomed me up. I was forced to take a step back and grab the stair, railing to steady myself. Then I found myself on the roof. Bright sun was blinding, but at least there was no one here. Or was there? At the far end of the roof, a girl was sitting on a bench and eating a bento. It was Iwamura. Oh, okay, let's go. She was gazing out into the distance, towards the horizon, looking dreamy. I hesitated to approach her, remembering the morning's incident. What was I going to say to her? The roof seemed too small for both of us at that moment. On the other hand, I looked stupid just standing there. If I turned around now, she would think I was scared. What was there to be afraid of anyway? I approached her slowly and stood nearby. Reluctantly, Iwamura granted me her attention. Apparently, she had been aware of my presence all along. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be, right? Which meant I did the right thing. I remembered how she behaved in the morning after that tussle with those bullies. And after that, I was supposed to feel awkward around her? Or guilty? Can I sit here? Iwamura shrugged her shoulders and scooted over to one side of the bench. I sat down, opened the bag containing my simple lunch and glanced furtively at Iwamura's bento. It seemed just as good as Himitsu's. Well, if Iwamura really was poor, it's due to reason that she knew how to cook. You know, I still felt awkward around her, which was really bugging me. What? If I spoke my mind now, was I going to get the same reaction as earlier? I was wondering, where were the jerks after you this morning? Why do you care? How about because I was directly involved in that incident? Had the police been there, I would have gone on the books as an accomplice. They're always harassing me. What, just because, for no reason at all? You wouldn't understand. Maybe she was right. I'd never been bullied. I don't know the full story, sure, but it seems to me that nothing happens without a reason. Everyone has their own reasons, Iwamura said cryptically. But there are laws, I don't know. It's not right. Laws? Pulled away from her bento, turned towards me and looked at me severely. Laws exist for normal people. For people like them. Or for people like you. Should I remind you that I was the one who saved you? Would have sounded inappropriate. I was the one who helped you. She said nothing back and resumed eating. You could at least have said thanks. Thanks, said Iwamura quietly. Now we're getting somewhere. She slammed her lunchbox closed and stood up briskly from the bench. Thanks again. Enjoy your meal. Yeah, I'm a piece of shit, bro. What can I say? She snapped back without so much as looking at me and left. Right. See you later, I muttered to myself. Quickly finished my lunch and left for class. Yosuke was already waiting for me there, grinning ear to ear. So, how was lunch with Himitsu-chan? Fine. Where was he going with this? Oh, really? So that was some other Himitsu again looking for you 5 minutes ago. Did you know she has a twin sister? Her name is Shinjitsu. Yeah, sure. I swear. Himitsu is the good one, and Shinjitsu is the evil one. Or the other way around. She got very lucky, by the way, because her superpower is sucking the souls out of fat and excessively curious otaku. Whatever, man. Bro, I'm a piece of shit, bro. I really am. Yosuke sounded offended and went back to his desk. The school day was coming to a close. Worn out students had started counting off the minutes, but there was still one more class to go. Himitsu dropped in during the break to remind me that we had agreed to go shopping after school. I remember that, yes. At first I had trouble figuring out what she was even talking about. The teacher was trying unsuccessfully to call the class to attention, but most students were ignoring him. I mean, a lot of students at this school were genuinely invested in their education and keen to learn, but a good half only sat through the lessons for the sake of their prestigious diploma. Why worry about trivialities like grades or detentions when your whole life is planned out for you decades in advance? Settle down, the teacher kept repeating. Regrettably, he could not yell at them. Alright, if you don't calm down, you're not going to find out that we have a new girl joining us today. Instantly, the classroom plunged into silence, broken only by a few whispers. A new student? In the middle of the year? Is she cute, I wonder? I wasn't particularly excited. I was used to their constant gossiping. I couldn't care less if the class gained another student, since I didn't know the existing ones very well to begin with. Come in. A subdued murmur rippled throughout the classroom, but I felt too lazy to even lift my head. Then I felt a strong shove in the back. Hey. I turned around and looked at Kyosuke. He sat there, mouth ajar. Who knew could be that even these overprivileged children would react like that? I faced the blackboard. The classroom was a whirlwind of scarlet cherry petals. Does anyone really find them beautiful? But how? Why? The girl from my visions, this visitor from the past, was standing just a few meters away from me. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. My name is Catherine Winters. Actually, I know a few people here already. She quickly surveyed the classroom without pausing on anyone in particular. I look forward to studying with you. She deliberately distorted standard Japanese reading. Catherine Winters. So official. It had always been just Katya to me. She was the one with who I had watched the petals fall. Then she moved away. She just left and never really gave a reason. She left me alone, breaking my heart and shattering my dreams. I should have been mad. Should have hated her even, but I couldn't. Ah, how disgustingly trite and hackneyed it all was. Bro, I don't know what this means, bro. Again, I don't know who talks like this. I don't think anyone on this planet talks like this. But maybe some edgelords do. Because they want to seem like all sophisticated and shit. Like I'd been trapped inside a second-rate shoujo manga. Now she just needed glittering sparkles around her face and some wispy clouds in the background. I would wait for it. It was nothing I wasn't used to. I rubbed my eyes and pinched myself hard. Nope, not a dream. Hey Nick, why is she back? Do you know something? Why haven't you said anything? Yosuke was prattling on annoyingly behind my back. My world had contracted into a dark tunnel, with me at one end, immersed in total darkness, and her at the other, bathed in light. Except that waiting for me at the other end was surely no paradise. Meanwhile, the teacher showed Catherine to her desk. She walked past me without so much as a glance. I was at a loss for words. Was I supposed to jump up in the middle of the lesson and scream, "What are you doing here?" My classmates' initial astonishment had faded away in the meantime. Many did, in fact, know Catherine. She had been a student at this school before. The rest probably just hadn't expected to see a foreigner. After all, there weren't that many of them even at our school. I doubt they considered me a foreigner, that is, if they were aware of my existence at all. I met Katya in my first year of high school. Somehow we ended up dating. She and I, rather incredible. Her mother had been working in Japan for quite some time, same as my parents. Time passed and everything seemed to be going well. Then, one day, Katya told me we could no longer be together. Something about her mother getting transferred. I could probably accept that story. I could forgive and forget. But didn't it hurt her even a little? What, was I just a coworker? Someone you simply cut ties with when you transfer to another office? Why? We should have had an office farewell party. I would have stocked up on gifts. I'm sorry. Goodbye now. Cold, hollow, everyday words. And after all that, she was going to just show up in my class? Nice to meet you. I look forward to studying with you. Seriously? Was there not another school in all of goddamn Tokyo? I couldn't believe it. But still, somewhere deep inside, an ember of hope remained. What if she came back because of me? And that's the reason that she's here right now? Right. Hope springs eternal. I was watching the seconds go by slowly on the clock. Talk to her. I had to talk to her. The bell, at last. I worked up the courage and... She floated right past me, heading for the door. Had I been too slow? Too indecisive? Why did it matter now? Hey Nick, are you asleep or what? Yosuke's words seemed to come from afar, as if from another world. But what was I going to say to her? Hi, long time no see. How are things? Anyway, why hadn't she approached me first? Was she scared? Shy? Nonsense. That was like Katya at all. Then she must not have wanted to talk. I knew her too well. Yosuke was shaking me frantically and muttering something, but I was ignoring him. Nico. A new voice. Nico. Himitsu. I lifted my eyes and looked somewhere past her. First to Nico, do you read me? I snapped back to reality. Yeah, what is it? You've forgotten again, haven't you? She was pouting comically. I knew you would, so I decided to come fetch you. What did you want with me? Fetch me? What for? Oh, right. We had made some kind of plan. What did that matter now? Catherine had left, and she was moving further away with each passing second. Maybe the distance between us now was far greater than all the miles of the Pacific Ocean. But I had no idea what I was going to say to her. I had long been secretly hoping to get over her, let go and move on with my life, and now this? Regardless, I had to make a decision. If I was going to run after her, I had to get going. Bro, what the fuck? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a simp. Bro, no, I have plans with Himitsu, bro. I can't do that. Sorry. Goodbye. How much longer was I going to let this continue? A surgeon has to excise the rotting flesh to prevent disease from spreading to the rest of the body. Since we were classmates now, I was bound to find out eventually why she had come back. Of course, I remember. I said confidently, stood up, took Himitsu by the hand, okay, and headed for the door. Wait, what about... I turned and gave Kyosuke a glare so furious that he shut up immediately. Anger, resentment, longing, all these emotions intermingled within me. I walked down the hallway, oblivious to the world around me. I stopped only when we reached the lockers. Left around the schoolyard. What if she was still here? Nico. Himitsu ventured timidly. What? I snapped back, turned around, and realized I was still holding her hand. Oh, sorry. I let go. Something happened? Don't say it didn't. I can see something's wrong. Kyosuke-san looked agitated too. Kyosuke? I snickered. The only thing likely to agitate him is some unrealistically shaped anime girl. But look at Himitsu's large eyes didn't change. I meant that he was telling me about another anime again. You know, the one about magical girls. They show it at 6, you must have seen it. Why was I lying to her? Why was I lying now? I knew I couldn't hide Catherine forever. Sooner or later, Himitsu was going to run into her at school. Or worse yet, Catherine would show up at her house. They did know each other after all. Anyway, it's nothing. Let's go to your store. Where did you say it was again? By the station? Himitsu wasn't going to pry. It wasn't in her nature. Guess what? So, the teacher asked Reikun today, when did man first land on the moon? And you know what he said? 2079. Can you believe it? And then, during PE, Himitsu carried down as though nothing happened. Maybe nothing did, where she was concerned. The store wasn't too impressive from outside. Maybe it was low prices that drew girls in. By the standards of our school, Himitsu's family wasn't terribly wealthy, but her father worked for the government, so they weren't poor either. We went inside. Himitsu was trying one outfit after another. How do you like it? It's fine. How about this one? I think this color will be in fashion this winter. It's fine. What do you think of this dress? A little discontent was starting to seep into her voice. I like the last one better. If only I knew what she tried on before. I was in no mood for a fashion show. To me, Himitsu looked good in any outfit. Why did she even need all this stuff? Did she not have enough clothes? Really, why? I had known Himitsu for a long time, but I couldn't recall her ever being in a relationship. But she wasn't a child anymore. She was a beautiful young woman. It was high time for her to get a boyfriend. Hold it. Was I feeling jealous? No, of course not. Anyway, if she had found somebody, I would have been the first to hear about it. I think what matters is that you like it. But I like a lot of them. I like this and this. This one, not so much. Himitsu was shuffling through the clothes. What had she done to deserve this treatment from me? Catherine is back, I said, trying to be casual. What? She did not have grasped what I said. She got up in class today right before the last lesson. I guess we're going to be classmates now. Really? Himitsu became instantly miserable and dropped the dress she liked so much. I see you're not too happy. Look at my face, bro. I'm happy. I just thought that she had moved away permanently. Well, that's what I thought too. What is she planning to do now? What do you mean? I mean, Himitsu was hurriedly putting the clothes back on the rack. She's been gone so long, you're seniors already. You know, honestly, I hadn't asked her about her life plans. Hell, I hadn't even talked to her. What about you? Are you glad, Nico-kun? I'll say Nico-kun, bro. Fuck. Okay, I'll say Nico-kun. I give in. She asked gently. I guess it's... because it's Japanese. It's a part of their personality, so I should reflect that when reading. Wouldn't call the situation straightforward, but was there to be glad about. We know full well what happened last year. Yeah. But that's all in the past now. We'll see what happens. I'm sure she has her reasons. At least I didn't have to keep lying to Himitsu. Sure, Anne told her everything, but what was the point of dumping all my worries on her? In the end, this was between me and Catherine. Are you not going to buy anything? She paused to think. No, everything's very expensive here, and I'm almost out of allowance for the month. But it's only the 7th, I exclaimed. Well, let me give you a present then. That white and yellow dress. It looked good on you. No, it didn't. Mitsu countered unexpectedly. I look fat in it. You? Fat? I laughed loudly, drawing annoyed looks from the store clerks and the other shoppers. See? This is why I didn't want to come, I whispered. Himitsu just smiled and said nothing back. Bro, talking like this for an hour? My throat hurts. We hardly talked on the way home. I felt awkward. Now would have been a great time to hear stories about Reikun or Sayashan who could hit a volleyball over the net. Don't feel bad because of Katya. I feel fine. Come on, I can see it. Don't worry, I'll be alright. It's been long enough. The important thing is that you believe that yourself. I do. It's just all a bit unexpected. But you know how she is. She comes uninvited, leaves without saying goodbye, always self-centered. I smiled involuntarily. Himitsu noticed and grew even sadder. Thankfully, by then we'd already approached my house. Well, I'll be off. See you tomorrow? See you. I want to say something else, but instead just watch as she walked through the gate. I spent the rest of the day trying futilely not to think about Catherine. If I continued like this, I was going to lose my mind. Every 5 minutes, the phone rang. I couldn't pick up because I knew it was Kyosuke. Who else would be calling me? When it came to that crazy otaku, I was lucky he wasn't pounding on my door. In the end, I unplugged the phone. I tried to keep myself distracted with TV and video games, but they got boring quickly. I even did some homework for a change. Play the bass for a bit. Oh hell yeah, let's go. Bass player. And fix myself a simple dinner. Needless to say, I would rather have eaten Himitsu's cooking. But she must have been busy. Not that Himitsu was under any obligation to make meals for me on a daily basis, but I was used to it. Thinking about it, I realized that my habits had become an integral part of my life, to the point where dates started to take center stage in it. Catherine's reappearance was threatening to throw everything off balance. It was like I'd grown senile and flabby in the past year and a half, to the point where I craved stability above all. But why did I need chaos in my life if nothing good was going to come of it anyway? Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was probably Himitsu, but at this hour? I only made my way towards the door, but halfway a thought struck me. Why would Himitsu need to use the bell? And it had to be Kyosuke. Though it was definitely late for him. The evening routine for my well-fed friend was anime followed by bed. But whatever. There was nobody at the door at all. I looked around and walked outside, but the street was empty. Stupid pranksters. If someone had definitely been here, as on the way back I discovered a note on the doorstep. Note read, Nikolai-san, be careful. You are in grave danger. Certain very powerful people linked to your father are after you. This is not a prank or a hoax. Yeah, sure. Next in order would be a busty magical girl in my living room, ready to obey my every command. Did that light just turn on in the background? Kyosuke, I shouted. This isn't funny. Yeah, the light. Okay, lights turn on and off in the buildings. And why bring my dad into this? My parents, the incident. They fled the Soviet Union when I was 7. In Japan, they worked as regular engineers at Kobayashi Corporation. After they passed, I had the option of going back to the USSR to live with my relatives, but I ended up staying since I had lived in Japan for most of my life. My father's friends had helped take care of the legal formalities while his bank account kept me from starving. Yosuke, I called out, less confidently this time. The only reply I got was from a neighbor, who barked something about it being nighttime and my yelling. Well, maybe it wasn't Yosuke. But then who? The note was a joke. Its author had failed to deliver the punchline. And what if there was a simpler explanation? What if it was for real? I twiddled the note between my fingers. It was an ordinary piece of notebook paper, carefully clipped. The words were Japanese, written in a steady hand, although the spelling left something to be desired. Why write by hand at all, I wondered. Wouldn't it have been simpler to type out the message? Or, in a pinch, clip words from a newspaper and assemble the note in that way, like in those cheesy crime shows? At least I could rule Kyosuke out. I'd have recognized his handwriting. You're in grave danger, linked to your father. What if it were those monks? Just because their parents were loaded didn't mean they had aid in Japanese. Maybe Elisama's servants had decided to take revenge for the cafeteria incident. No, that was ridiculous. Ultimately, who would bother with a regular Japanese student? Why now, of all times? Right on the heels of Catherine's return too. To be honest, I couldn't remember how good Catherine's Japanese grades were. I couldn't remember her handwriting either, but I knew she'd spent considerably less time in Japan than I. Catherine had been a decent but not straight A student, and after a year and a half without practice. At any rate, she was a prime suspect now. It didn't even occur to me to ask why. Motives had stopped making sense to me long ago. Either way, I had to try to find some answers at school tomorrow. Now it was time for bed. I hadn't felt so worn out at the end of the day in a long time. Sleep wouldn't come. I kept tossing and turning and getting mad at myself for it. Meanwhile, the clock ticked past midnight. I flinched and perked up my ears. Perhaps I'd imagined it. Not again. I hopped up of bed. I scanned the room for anything I could use to defend myself. The vase wouldn't do. I walked up to the door on stiff legs and asked in a shaky voice. Who is it? Nico-kun. I breathed a sigh of relief and opened the door. Do you know what time it is? Sorry, but your phone was off. Oh, is that a reason to turn up here in the dead of night? No, but I tried calling several times. I want to know if you were going to school tomorrow. You're so concerned about my attendance, you shouldn't wake me up in the middle of the night. I'm sorry. Suddenly I felt bad. Finally. Yumito was just being herself, while I was taking my problems out on her. She wasn't the one who had brought Catherine back or left a note. Again, another mistake. Come on, guys, please. Quality control. Proofreading. No, it's my fault. I should be apologizing. It's been an awful day. I mean, it's been a tough day. Very busy. I was already asleep. Trying to sleep at any rate. Okay, I'll be going then. Good night. I shut the door behind her and returned to bed. If the day was tough, what would tomorrow be like? A 100 bells chimed with 100 melodies in my head, announcing the morning. That medley, the cheerful chirpings of the birds, the construction on a neighboring street, the boisterous shouts of street vendors, the damned fan that hadn't quit humming for a second, and the grumpy muttering somewhere close by. Fixed gaze of large green eyes, the pouting lips, and two red braids. Hold on. This had already happened before. Jumped out of bed, stared in bewilderment at Himitsu, and blurted out. What day is it today? Tuesday, she replied, frightened. What's wrong? Tuesday, huh? Alright then. Tuesday it is then. I scanned the room meticulously. The open notebook I had tried doing my homework in the night before was still in the same spot, which meant that everything was fine. It just felt like tomorrow hadn't come. What do you mean? Well, like when you wake up and today is still yesterday, like in a sci-fi novel. You read too many of those. Kimitsu laughed. Things did seem to be running their normal course. Except I now became aware of a peculiar smell. I sniffed the air. Is that... Yes, well, I prepared breakfast ahead of time. A big pot of borscht sat on the stove. Good lord, but why? Did you ask for some yesterday? No, I didn't. I just mentioned it in passing. It was a joke. Well, you know what? He said menacingly. You're going to have to eat this joke now. Soup for breakfast. That was certainly unorthodox. Kimitsu had outdone herself this time. Suppose yesterday I had said something about foie gras in the 1978 Chateau Margaux. Would they be awaiting me now, too? In any case, the borscht is quite good. Granted, it wasn't exactly a traditional recipe. Well, Kimitsu was sitting across from me, looking at me intently. Why aren't you eating? I'm waiting to hear what you think. Oh yeah, sorry. It's delicious. Really? She didn't believe me. Yes, really. Why wouldn't it be? Kimitsu tried the borscht. True enough. Now, don't you dare complain about my cooking again. When did I ever complain? You just don't get my humor. I do get it. I thought it was just some light-hearted banter. But Kimitsu didn't look at her usual self. Every so often, a shadow of sadness passed over her face. Did something happen? No? What about you? What about me? At that moment, the events of the previous day flashed before my eyes. The surprise awakening and the borscht had temporarily made me forget about Catherine and the note. Everything's fine, just a bit unexpected. Don't worry, I'll be alright. Good, if you say so. She smiled. Let's go, or we'll be late for school. We exchanged only a few words along the way. Somehow we just couldn't find a suitable subject for conversation. I didn't want to tell Kimitsu about the note just yet. And she probably hadn't had anything happen to her overnight that was worth sharing. Sure, I could have talked about some random stuff, but that was my thing. Okay, so this clock doesn't move. Finally, we reached the school. No incidents today, I hope. I hemmed. Alright, see you. Don't sleep in class. He needs to smile ahead of her classroom. Okay, now I had to think of a way to snag Catherine's notebook without anyone noticing. I hope she'd written something in it. Preferably in Japanese. I was walking down the hallway, lost in thought when someone called my name. Anokin-kun, hold it there. Oh, Sanders? Let's go. The school principal. What's his name? Yes, Kiyama-sensei? What is it? Follow me to my office, please. But class is about to start. I protested like this sort of thing was something new to me. It won't take long. A wiry old man in his 70s, maybe even older. Kiyama-sensei was always glowingly polite and cold. Glowingly? Oh, what? On top of that, he dressed and carried himself in a strictly European manner. I'd always been shocked by how devoted some Japanese people were to the Western lifestyle and culture. I could think of any number of sayings on its subject, along the lines of to thine own self be true. Although here, this had become something of a tradition in its own right. This was, after all, an elite school. What's the issue exactly? Anokin-kun, please come along. Well, naturally, he wasn't going to reprimand me in the middle of the hallway, in view of the entire school, was he? Oh, what? I thought I was here for the lunch. We went into his office, but someone was already there. Huh. But if it isn't Ojo-sama herself. Standing next to the principal's desk was, in fact, Ellie-sama. Ah, the boar from yesterday. She seemed equally surprised to see me here. Okay, so it's not related. Yesterday's cafeteria incident came back to me in vivid detail. Madam did give me a kerchief in the end. Wiped myself. And I tossed it into the dirty laundry at home. Whoops. I needed to return it. Let me guess, you're a frequent visitor here? She asked sarcastically. Well, I surely didn't expect to find myself groveling at your grace's feet today. There will be all, Kobayashi-san. Kobayashi. That last name sounded familiar. And he bade the principal a polite farewell and walked past me, shooting me an angry look. So, Anokin-kun, do you know why you're here? I've got a couple theories. The principal sighed and gave me a sad look from behind his glasses. Hanokin-kun, I understand that Japanese culture is alien to you. But here at this school, we have students of every nationality. We endeavor to provide all of them with the best opportunities. In return, we expect an appropriate level of respect and adherence to the school rules. Here we go. I think you ought to understand this, especially considering your situation. What about my situation? Let's not make this personal now. No, what I meant was... Embarrassed, he removed his glasses and began wiping them slowly with a special cloth. I meant to say that we make no distinction between our students. Rules are the same for everyone. I understand. In that case, you must also understand that you can't just skip classes for no reason. Put his glasses back on and gave me a hard look. And, speaking of your attendance record, I understand. If you understand, why do you keep skipping classes? Do you know who sponsored our school? I shrugged. Kobayashi Corporation. This name does mean something to you, does it not? The company's president himself is chairman of our school's board of trustees. The centuries-old traditions. At that point, I tuned him out, sorry. Kobayashi Corporation and Kobayashi Ellie. Things were adding up. Interesting. I wondered, would she still be the school queen if she had been born into an ordinary family? Family like Iwamura's, for instance. Hanokin-kun, what's that smirk for? Did he say something funny? I'm very sorry, Kiyama-sensei. This will not happen again. I bowed to the ground. Alright, that's enough. The old man apparently hadn't been expecting this degree of repentance from me. I have seen the error of my ways, and I promise this will never happen again. Bro, I literally can't speak anymore. Oh my god, it hurts. Oh. Damn. Even water helps that much. Okay. I was thinking about maybe like capping the stream at 2 hours. Gonna taking a break and then coming back later or something. I don't know. Damn. This stuff. Well, that's the most important thing. The fact that you understand. And don't let it happen again. Very well. Go now. Or you'll be late for class. Thank you very much. I'm going now. I formally took my leave and marched out of his office. So why didn't you tell me that this Ellie-sama of yours is a Kobayashi? There's still a couple of minutes left before the beginning of the lesson. I did tell you. No, you didn't. You said our grandfather was the chairman of the board of trustees. As if I'm supposed to know who the chairman is. That's the problem. You never know anything. Anyway, why do you ask? I got called in the principal's office just now. We're skipping class? Why else? At that moment, the bell rang. Only now did I remember Catherine. The seat was behind me, so I couldn't watch her constantly. Was she writing anything down? Or was I going to grab her notebook on notes anyway? Presently, I was hardly at all anxious. Sleep had cleared my mind, and I found the whole situation more intriguing than troubling. The closing bell finally rang. Catherine got up and left the classroom. This was my chance. I slowly approached her desk, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. Glanced around. My classmates were all minding their own business. Leaned down, opened a notebook, flipped through the pages. No, the handwriting was completely different. But how? Why? Sure, I had some issues with Japanese characters, but this much was obvious. Catherine did not write yesterday's note. Hanokin-kun. I stood at attention. Caught, exposed, disgraced. Go to the teacher's room with Iwamura-san and bring the printouts for the next lesson. That was close. I looked at Iwamura. She stood nearby, staring indifferently out the window. Right now, I only wanted to get out of the classroom as quickly as possible. Hi. Well, should we get going? I can go alone. She didn't even look in my direction. But if we were told to go together, I'll manage by myself. Under different circumstances, I would have gladly agreed with her. Listen, I understand it all, but I've already been to the principal's office today, and I'm not burning with a desire to go back. Suit yourself. Umar shrugged and headed toward the door. The hallways were unexpectedly empty. It was as if the students were hiding away in anticipation of something. Yomar walked in silence. Man, I'm tall. Jesus, look at me. This was how she was acting after I defended her a day earlier. Bro, stop saying that. The awkward silence desperately demanded a conversation to break it. So, do you have to do this often? I couldn't think of anything better to say. She raised her eyes and looked at me in surprise. That was the first. So I had achieved the desired effect after all. Well, of course, I'm the class president. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Silence again. It's just that we've never really talked. I don't even know your first name. Why do you need to? It's only natural. Here, I'm Nikolai. This visibly embarrassed Iwamura, who seemed to be hesitating with her answer. Japanese culture, addressing someone by their first name is a sign of close, possibly vulgar familiarity. This was especially true in our case. But I didn't bother with all these conventions. Kagome? She said quietly. What? Really? Loud bursts of laughter escaped my lips, spooking several passing girls, who went as far around as they could. What's so funny? Kagome frowned. Nothing, it's just, well, you know, it's a weird name. What do you mean? Kagome is not a real weird name. Is it? Oh, sorry, not settings. This loading screen is kind of annoying, I have to say. Kagome is a Japanese children's game, and a song from it. That's the reason Nikolai is surprised about his classmate's strange name. Okay. No weirder than yours. What's wrong with my name? It's a normal name. Nikolai. Nicholas, if you prefer, or Nick. They're all the same. I was starting to get worked up, it seemed. Who's we? Gaijin? No, the local morons. How rude. Kagome snorted and turned away. Listen, you have a problem with me? I think you have a problem. Oh, really? And what is it? I'm curious. Who's a new foreigner? I opened my mouth in surprise. Why would she be asking about that? Why? You've been staring at her non-stop for 2 days now. Have you been spying on me? I'd have to be blind not to notice. She responded unfazed. That's really none of your business. Of course it's not. Kagome smirked. But neither is my life any of yours. So why are you prying? He had a point. I'll tell the truth. We were in a relationship at one point. Kagome's facial expression was hard to read, and she remained silent. Why did you bring her up anyway? It's not every day that we have a new student in our class, and such a striking foreigner at that. I'm a foreigner too, you know. She looked me up and down, snickered, and said, Yeah, sure. I knew it. Not only would my face not pass as Japanese, but now I was being denied the title of a proper gaijin as well. Are you always like this? I was starting to lose my temper. You've arrived. Wait here. Hey. Just in time, too, before I could open my mouth. Kagome went into the teacher's room, and before I knew it, she was back with a large stack of paper. Carry it. What, all of it? I couldn't see any way to carry the heap comfortably. What if we each carry half? Didn't you yourself volunteer to come along? No, I didn't. The teacher sent me, if you recall. Fine, give it here. Kagome turned to take all of the papers from me at once. No way, that won't do either. Which of us looked more pathetic now? Spurred on by wounded pride, I walked fast so that the return trip took considerably less time. I dropped a mountain of papers on the teacher's desk with a thud, while Kagome took her seat and returned to her usual window gazing. I guess no one deserves to be bullied, but man, I could almost understand those punks from yesterday. Judging by the clock, the bell was less than a minute away. Catherine's desk was empty. I turned to Michael, who sat next to her. Did Catherine, the new girl, did she go somewhere? Don't know. Wasn't really paying attention. Why? Never mind. No reason. Bummed, I sat down at my desk. Did she have somehow noticed that I opened a notebook? No way. Catherine wasn't even in the classroom at the time. Did someone tell her? How long ago did she leave? I'm telling you, I don't know. Are you talking about the new girl? I think she went to see the principal. Classmate had overheard our conversation. Thanks. The chair beneath me felt like it was on fire. That's how badly I wanted to run after her. But to what end? What was I going to tell her? As the bell sounded, my feet seemed to acquire a will of their own. They carried me to the door, then past the teacher and out into the hallway. I turned the corner to run and stopped. What the hell am I doing? Why all this? The school had gone silent, frozen still, as though in awe of the inescapable might of pure knowledge. I was slowly tiptoeing through the empty hallways toward the principal's office. If I were to run into one of the teachers now, I would have to explain myself all over again. On the other hand, it would be no better if I showed up at his office myself. Speaking of which, here it was. Pressed near the door, but no sound was coming from the other side. Either they were playing the silent game, or Catherine wasn't there. So, what next? It was too late to go back to class. I wandered the empty hallways and didn't even notice how I ended up in the old wing. Our school had been repeatedly rebuilt. It first opened its doors right after the war, with new buildings added on as old. Right? With new buildings added on as old ones fell into decay. Well, it's getting tough to speak. Inefficient, if you ask me. Why not tear down the old structure first and build a new one in its place? Theoretically, there shouldn't have been anyone in this wing, but suddenly I heard music. A guitar. Sound was coming from what? Sound was coming from what, judging by the plague, was the old music classroom. I opened the door a crack. Ha! Not other than Kobayashi Ellie. She was the last person I expected to find here. She was doing a fine job playing though. The tune was nice, and the execution was equally good. Music at least was one area that I knew a thing or two about. Ellie herself seemed to be glowing with happiness, looking nothing like the prim princess I'd encountered in the principal's office this morning. Cool though this lyrical digression was, I certainly couldn't let a chance like this slip by. Well, who do we have here? The guitar went abruptly silent. My applause was the only sound interrupting the silence that had descended on the place. Ojo-sama, I didn't know you played the guitar too. Many emotions flickered across her face. Embarrassment, surprise, annoyance, resentment. You. Please pay no attention to me. Carry on. You. What are you doing here? I followed a beautiful siren song, but I could never have imagined it would be you, Ojo-sama. Enough. Ellie blurted out, stood up abruptly and froze, as if not knowing what to do next. Hey, come on, don't be upset. I just didn't realize you played the guitar. Somehow I wouldn't associate you with the instrument. Now the violin maybe. I can play violin too. But she's pointing at me. That's nice. She cut in. Even though the movement was a bit abrupt, I think. Really? Well, that's cool. Then why aren't you in class? It's no mystery why I'm skipping. Or why I'm skipping. What about yourself? I'm not skipping. We have a break. Alright. I smirked. You don't have to make excuses to me. I'm not making excuses. You, on the other hand, should watch your behavior. What were you doing at the principal's this morning? Stopped by for a cup of tea. In any case, it's none of your business. I wasn't trying to be rude, but that's exactly how it came out. Actually, it is my business, seeing as my grandfather... I'm aware. He gave me a surprised look. What, is it a secret? No, of course not. Even so, suddenly we heard a voice in the hallway. Hide, Ellie whispered anxiously. Why? You're on a break and I'm used to it. I said sardonically, albeit in a lower voice. She didn't answer but was looking at me pleadingly. She must have had her reasons. Okay, outside, I guess. Alright, fine. Because I don't see where we could hide here. In there! Ellie grabbed my hand and dragged me to a small door, which I had missed initially. The door opened into a cramped utility closet. What, here? I hesitated. The closet was definitely not roomy enough for two people. Get in already. Ellie clearly thought otherwise. Next thing I knew, she shoved me inside and stepped in herself. Oh, hell yeah, let's go. The closet scene. Hell yeah. Right. We were now packed in like sardines. This place reeked. Yet perceptible through the stench of dampness, moldiness, and dust was a sweet aroma of Ellie's perfume. Killer combination to say the least. The classroom door opened and several people entered. I think I heard something. You must have misheard Kiyama-sensei. The principal was talking to one of the teachers. I'm not hearing things. I may be getting on in years, but I'm still more than capable. Heavens no, Kiyama-sensei, I didn't mean anything of the sort. Anyhow, this ramshackle place should have been torn down long ago. Third voice shared conversation. This ramshackle place, as you called it? The principal let out a sigh so loud I could hear it clearly even from the closet. I remember arriving here as a young teacher right after the war. Traded in my rifle for a pointer, you could say. Hawk taking the place of ammunition. Who would have guessed that our principal was so sentimental? Ellie suddenly fidgeted. Naturally, anyone would be uncomfortable hiding in a cramped closet with too little room, even for one person. Or was she uncomfortable with me in particular? I shifted my gaze to Ellie. Of course, she was uncomfortable. But I desperately didn't want to have to be lectured by the principal again because of some Ojo-sama. Would you be quiet? I hissed. She turned red like a lobster. Or like a boiled lobster. Her breathing becoming rapid and irregular. It really was an awkward situation. But it was for both of us. I was still trying to hang on. Just because Ellie played the guitar didn't necessarily mean she had experience in the area of... I didn't finish the thought. Felt scent hit my nose with new strength, making my head spin. Who was I to pass judgment on her experience? Yes, I dated Catherine, but I'd gotten somewhat used to her, whereas here was a completely different girl, standing next to me. Not just next to, pressed right against me. My heart started beating faster. I swallowed. Ellie looked up at me with a frightened look in her eyes. What do you want from me? I silently mouthed. Didn't respond, just kept fidgeting. Although her movements were now making the whole situation uncomfortable for me. I made a face that in my mind was supposed to mean quiet. I seemed to have understood. Meanwhile, the principal continued his oration. After all of that, you talk of, this is our cultural heritage. It should be made into a museum. Certainly, Kiyama-sensei, but let's go now. I have a meeting coming up. Yes, forgive me. I got a bit carried away. The moment the door closed behind them, Ellie came flying out of the closet. I stepped out after her. I had to say something. It was a bit tight in there. She looked at me dumbfounded. Tight? Tight? You pervert. You groped me all over. I didn't touch you at all. You groped me with your eyes then. You think I can see it? Feel it? Calm down already, will you? How can you grope someone with your eyes? Anyway, it was your idea to hide in there. Yes, but that's all there is to it. Ellie's expression turned dreary, and she lowered her gaze. I suppose it's unbefitting a young lady to behave like this, isn't it? She smiled sadly. Look, I'm not the first person to give advice on these matters, but for what it's worth, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing the guitar. You must enjoy music a lot, huh? Yes. This time her smile was more genuine. Then I don't see a problem. Just then, a distant bell announced it was break time. Alright, I've gotta go. See you. Her final parting smile was utterly disarming. I was left standing alone inside an empty music classroom of the empty old wing. What a strange girl. This whole musical interlude made me entirely forget the reason I had wound up here in the first place. I'd been looking for Catherine. I had absolutely no desire to go back to class, where I could expect another scolding. Simply skipping was bad enough, but to have run out of the classroom right in front of the teacher... No, thank you. I managed to slip out of the building unnoticed, and here I was, free as the wind, strolling down a sidewalk in one of Tokyo's central districts. I just want to chill out. This whole day had been a waste. The only thing I achieved was determining that Catherine had not written yesterday's note. The note? Unpleasant thoughts crept into my head. But if she didn't write it, who did? What if it wasn't a prank? Just what was going on? What had happened to me in the past day and a half and over the course of the past year and a half? The entire time I hadn't really socialized with anyone, except maybe Himitsu. Well, I did that Kyosuke and occasionally Michael. Now Catherine was back and there was Kagome and Ellie. What next? Are they going to turn into a magical girl? As if by chance I ended up near a familiar bar. A couple of rounds of beer were an absolute must right now. With beer? Bro, you're high school, you're not allowed to drink. I relaxed, cleared my head. You're not 21. Kinsey wasn't crowded, which made sense for this time of day. People were supposed to be either at work or school. Like in that joke about the 3-story building and the hurricane. Even though I wasn't a stranger here, I always had a fake passport at the ready. Oh, damn, bro. Okay. A classmate whose father worked in law enforcement had hooked me up at one point. So, why aren't you in your uniform? Well, lots of students at our school had these passes to adult life. Would you prove it wasn't real? Document's a document, especially when some insolent snot is shoving it in your face. Not to mention that the bar's owner was Russian. Chuckling, he usually told people that he used to be a pirate who was shipwrecked off the coast of Japan. That was a tall tale, of course. Most likely he was just a regular immigrant, like my parents. I sat down at the counter and ordered a beer. Hey, Kolya, what's up? You're early today. Yeah, kinda worked out that way. You aren't going to get in trouble at school, are you? You know how strict they are about these things here? I giggled nervously. Okay, I see. None of my business. Good bartender is invariably a good psychologist. Practically a qualification for the job. Beer at this place was served in pint-sized mugs, which made me very happy. Squealing with pleasure after downing a tiny glass in one gulp was not my thing. Yuck. I took a long pull. Catherine's back. Bartender raised his eyebrows and asked with unfeigned surprise. And what are you going to do now? Times I wondered if showing empathy to customers was something more than just a professional skill for him. What can I do? She hasn't been over eager to talk. Neither have I. At any rate, I'm certainly not going to throw myself at her. So why is she back? Because of her mother's work, probably. She's gonna have to come by herself, right? It's likely not. So I'm in this weird spot now. You know what they say? Life's like a zebra. A black stripe followed by a white stripe, then a black one again, and a white one again. Yep, and then the ass. We both laughed. You know what, Kolya? Don't get down. He said encouragingly. You still have your whole life ahead of you. If you will make up 100 times over yet. If not, you'll find yourself another girl. Lots of them all over. The bartender spread out his arms, inviting apprehensive looks from the few schoolgirls nestled at the table in the furthest corner of the room. Thanks for the comforting words. There's so much else besides that anyway. Life is in full swing. And each swing hits you on the head. Jeez. Did you keep a glossary of sayings under that counter? The bar door flew open and a group of young people entered. Having immediately recognized among them the punks from the day before, I instinctively buried my face in the mug. Was I scared? So it seemed. They sat down at a table and ordered beer and cocktails for the girls. Do you know them? The bartender asked quietly, leaning in toward me. I didn't say I know them, but we've met. I gave them the occasional sidelong glance. I wondered if I should get up and leave. Wouldn't that look cowardly, though? Then again, to who? They hadn't even noticed me. No sooner did I think that one of the guys... No sooner did I think that, than one of the guys got up and walked over to the counter. Hey, I know you. If you say so. I said as calmly as possible without even sparing him a glance. I don't think you know who you're dealing with, Gaijin. I'm not dealing with anyone. So, it wasn't you who punched my friend in the face yesterday? If it was me, he deserved it. Really? And how about we step outside for a little chat? I looked at the bartender, but he only shrugged. Some empathy, damn it. Alright, let's step out. What else could I do? Half a minute later, we were standing in an alley behind the bar. Wait, it's nighttime already? A couple older guys joined the school kids. Where did they even come from? Not so tough now, are you? You're the one I punched yesterday. They'll teach him to stand up for whores. I looked at the girl. Compared to her, Kagome was Mother Teresa. Well, what next? Can beat me up? 4 against 1? That's impressive. What happened to your code of honor? The Yakuza have one. I sneered at the largest guy among them. Yo, you've definitely got the mugshot of the thug. The older guys clenched their teeth, their expressions hardening. What did you say? Get it over with already. Bro, who do you think you are? How can you say this? A thought flashed through my mind. What if I struck first? That way, at least I'd retain a smidgen of self-respect. But I had no time to decide, as a strong shove to the back threw me to the ground. That was low. Their blows hit hard, but they didn't go on for long. I curled up into a ball, covering my head with my arms. It hurt. It was not nighttime, but it looked like nighttime. By the time I recovered my senses, the bastards had vanished without a trace. Did they beat me in the middle of the day? I got up slowly and cut myself all over. Nothing was broken, it seemed. My face was mostly intact as well, except for a black eye. I returned to the bar and sat down in the same seat. I no longer felt like having a cordial conversation with the bartender. Although, what could he have done? Stand at my side and fight? Call the police? Nonsense. Yeah, there's point off to the side with his eyes. I turned my head. Sitting just a couple of meters away from me was Catherine. Well, hi, I guess. I said a little while later, after waiting for her to start a conversation. Got a chance of that happening. Hi. Catherine replied indifferently. I shifted to a closer seat, while she ordered a cocktail for herself. What's with the face? Nothing serious. She wasn't buying it. I fell. Face first on concrete several times in a row. Yeah, it got lucky, but I'll get it next time. Is that so? Said Catherine apathetically. So, are you also skipping school? I had to start a conversation in the most neutral way possible. Also? She looked at me askance? Bro, stop using these words, bro, that no one understands. At least I don't understand. Well, it's nothing new to me. I guess it isn't. I heard you went to the principal. Maybe I did. What of it? Don't know if her voice didn't change, but her eyes flashed. Katya, I don't want to start everything up again. Then don't. I'm not. Or was I? Just put yourself in my shoes. How would you be reacting? Wouldn't you be asking the same questions? What questions? Fine. I understand you're here because of your mother's work, but this particular school. Why? What, am I getting in your way? Catherine was sipping on her cocktail with an expression of absolute indifference. Like the little movement. No, of course not. It's just, when I think about how we parted back then, that's all in the past. Don't really think that I should have chosen a different school or changed my life in any way just because of you, do you? Why would I do that? Simply to avoid running into you again? That's not what I was thinking. She was right, actually. I had no comeback. But she was right only if she really didn't feel anything toward me now. Everything pointed to that being the case, but I just couldn't believe, didn't want to believe, that she could be so cruel. So, everything's alright? Of course. Then we can remain friends? Barely perceptible smirk appeared on Catherine's face. Do you want us to? Why not? Past is in the past. We have to move on. Go on living. You sound like someone with PTSD. That's when I started to get worked up. It's all in the past for me as well, if that's what you mean. Is it? Good. Great. I turned away, pretending to study the menu. Was I supposed to get up and leave? That would be it. I'd have to forget all about her for a second. Damn it. Was I really still hoping for something? Each time Catherine heard me more and more, but like a mindless gnat, I kept slamming into the window, as if I was trying to prove something to someone. In the course of this year and a half, I had become so accustomed to living with memories of her that now, when she was so close, I simply couldn't let go of her. These memories seemed like my only hope, the only thing holding me back from doing something foolish and fatal. Did I think of something specific? Unlikely. I was hoping, naturally. I see you're not wasting any time. Catherine gave me a surprised look. Nothing was worse than indifference. Better if she got mad at me. I snatched the cocktail out of her hands and said snidely, "Getting an early start, are we?" As I raised the glass to my mouth, I heard Catherine's different voice somewhere in the background. It's no alcoholic. It really was. Sorry. I set the glass back down on the counter. You, on the other hand, have kept to your habits, I say. What do you mean? Her eye shot over to the empty beer mug, which I had tried to move as far away as possible. God damn it, bartender. It's been a rough day. Yeah? How so? Bro, beer is nice. What the fuck do you mean? You're not an alcoholic if you drink a mug of beer. Pint. Are you really interested? Just keeping up the conversation. Or would you rather that I ignored you? I sighed and answered. I was called into the principal's office. Yep, same as always. Skipping school. Well, you know me. And there was also a curious episode with a certain Ojo-sama. Your new girlfriend? Are you mocking me? No, just keeping up the conversation, I told you. If I'm disturbing you, I can leave. I don't have a girlfriend. Nor have I ever. I added in a half whisper. I see. And how's Himitsu doing? If you're so interested, you could visit her and ask. I don't believe you've had a falling out with her. Maybe I will go see her. Catherine responded vaguely and glanced towards the entrance. Was she about to leave? Something stung on the inside. I wanted her to say. I wanted her to stay. Even if she was going to mock me. Himitsu is fine. I don't even know what else to tell you. Same as always, basically. Same as always, is she? She drawled. Are you surprised that someone can actually treat me normally? Of course not. I'm happy for Himitsu. I'll definitely visit her if I get the chance. But now I need to go. Set the unfinished cocktail down on the counter and stood up. Alright. See you at school. Catherine nodded and left the bar. Dang, bro. You took a beating. Don't even start. I want a drink on the house. Did you want to make it up to me? No, thanks. I think I've had enough for today. I left the bar and stretched. As expected, the bruises ached. If the past couple days of my life resembled some dumb manga from Kyosuke's collection, the my encounters with Catherine felt more like a soap opera. A viscous, sticky, dark brew with a beginning but no end. How long was this going to go on? In less than a year I was going to graduate, and then what? My dad's savings weren't going to last long. I need to get a job. Thoughts of higher education didn't even cross my mind. But what skills did I possess? Did I want to toil interminably day after day like the Japanese? Did you know there's even a special word in Japanese that means death from overwork? Yes, I knew that. Questions. I don't remember the word, but I knew it. It was getting late. I'd been wandering aimlessly around the city for a number of hours, occasionally stepping inside stores or just window shopping. I was killing time, killing yet another day of my life. It was completely dark by the time I arrived at my house. The lights were on inside. I immediately remembered yesterday's note, and the light shiver ran down my spine. Nah, that was ridiculous. An assassin waiting for a victim inside a house with the lights on? Still, logical or not, someone was obviously inside. I carefully opened the door and saw a woman's shoes in the hallway. Himitsu. I should have guessed right away. Who else had any need of me? Hi, I said nonchalantly, entering the kitchen. Himitsu was sitting at a set table. She had apparently been waiting for some time. Nico-kun, where have you been? I was worried. If a moment ago I might have been glad to see her, all that was out the window now. Not another interrogation. Oh, what happened to you? She jumped up from her chair when she noticed my black eye. Nothing serious. I ran into some robbers, made short work of them, but one got me in the eye. Stop talking nonsense. It's not nonsense. You want to see the police report? She pouted but calmed down, having probably realized that I was fine. I asked Kyosuke-kun, and he said you weren't there for the last few classes. I wasn't. What of it? I snapped back. Nothing. It's just so much has happened lately that I was worried. Why would you worry about me? Do you think I was going to go drown myself? No, I didn't. Nothing much has happened anyway. I was about to add it, at least not to you, but stopped myself at the last second. After all, Himitsu had done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, she was looking at me expectantly. I had to tell her something. I debated whether I should mention Catherine. It's not like it's a secret or anything, right? We didn't do anything objectionable. Still, maybe Himitsu didn't need to know about this. Nah, bro. I tell the truth always. Always the truth. I was with Katya. Really now? Why was I feeling all embarrassed about this? Like an 8th grader on his first date. Really? Cool. And how's Catty-chan? Himitsu replied without skipping a beat, as if reading from a script. I suppose she's fine, but I know how she is sometimes. You have to drag every word out of her. Himitsu smiled. Alright, sit down and eat. The dinner's cold, of course, but you only have yourself to blame. I was, in fact, hungry as hell. I am kind of getting hungry as well. We ate dinner in silence, without talking, without a TV, without even looking at each other. I could almost feel a change of tension in the air. It was one thing for me to stay silent, but why was Himitsu keeping quiet? Just because I told her about Catherine? After so many years, Himitsu had come to know me very well, so she knew that there were times when it was better to remain silent, and times when it was better to do the opposite. So what was she hoping to achieve now? She knew I wasn't a fan of small talk, but the silence was becoming unbearable. How was school? Fine. That's it? Just fine? Nothing happened to Saya-chan? No? Why do you ask? I set down the chopsticks and leaned back in my chair. Probably because you've been quiet the entire dinner. I'm not quiet. I mean, not on purpose. Mitsu got flustered. And what is it? She was obviously working up the courage to continue. These sorts of conversations had always been difficult for her. Because I was worried. Did you even check the time? You could have called at least. Called? Called where? Here? She replied in a faltering voice. How was I supposed to know you'd be here? We weren't living together, last I checked. Maybe we should. But softly. I pretended not to hear it. The conversation had clearly taken a wrong turn. Alright, you know what? I'm really tired today. You head home and I'll do the dishes. But I'll see you tomorrow. Himitsu hung her head and stood up from the table. Good night. When the door closed behind her, I breathed a sigh of relief. Right now, I absolutely needed some alone time. I felt as though trapped between two fires. Oh, hello, Mark. Or even 3 or 4. A veritable ring of fire that was slowly but surely closing in on me. And how was I acting? Luggishly and indifferently, like a decrepit old man who had long stopped caring about his life. On one hand, there was Catherine, who I simply couldn't put out of my mind. On the other, there were Himitsu, who clearly wasn't happy to see Catherine back. And there was also the note, the new acquaintances, my non-existent plans for the future, and the future itself, out in a thick haze of uncertainty. I stretched out in bed and remembered Ellie. Even if the closet episode felt like it had been ripped straight out of some tacky manga, it had still been a pleasant one. What if Ellie could help with the note somehow? No doubt she had some good connections. As for Himitsu and Catherine, come what may. Maybe things would resolve themselves. These thoughts, I fell asleep. Dream time? No. Oh. I was woken up by the telephone. Yes, I have played Everlasting Summer. And loved it. And that's why I've been waiting for this game to come out for the past, 6 years, I think. Or 7, maybe? I don't even know. But yeah. I loved Everlasting Summer back in the day. What time was it? It cost me some pains to make it to the phone. Hello? I sounded terribly groggy. Nikolai, you're in great danger. Need to be extremely careful. A voice said in Russian. I was still half asleep, so I couldn't really understand what was going on. What? Who is this? I repeat, be extremely careful. Pay particular attention to what you are doing, who you talk to, what you talk about. And now, until now, it's such a huge upgrade from Everlasting Summer, like quality-wise. The story, obviously, I don't really know how it's gonna pan out. But until now, I like it. The language use is kind of, I don't know, weird. Not language you would use in an everyday scenario, but I guess that's just how this Nikolai speaks, I guess. The character tree. But the music, the character design, animations, backgrounds, everything is so nice. It's a huge step up from Everlasting Summer. So, the first 2 hours of this, great impression. Even though they're the same as the demo that was released a couple years ago, I enjoyed every minute of this until now. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. The voice sounded unnatural, as though the speaker had pressed a cloth against the receiver. Who is this? What do you want? Was it you who left the note? You've been warned. Beeping. Now I was really scared. Should I call the police? What would I say? An ordinary school kid of no interest to anyone. A note and a telephone call. It all added up to a prank. The first thing I did was to lock all the doors and unplug the phone. It could be a prank, but then who was a prankster? Michael wouldn't do it, and Kyosuke, it wouldn't even cross his mind. And why did all this start just as Catherine returned to Japan? Even if she didn't write the note? I pulled a blanket over my head. Sleep refused to come, but the fear eventually subsided a bit. I told myself that I would try to sort all of this but out tomorrow, with a fresher head. But this loading screen that appears every time, even when you go into the settings, that's pretty annoying. I know why there is a loading screen even, because it's just like a visual novel. There's not that much to load. And I do have it, like I installed it on my HDD, not my SSD. But still, it's just a visual novel. Like, what do you need to load? Especially when I go into the settings, like, look at this. Settings, boom. It loads for like 1 second. That's quite annoying, but it's not that bad, I guess. I can overlook that. But yeah, I've been streaming for 2 hours now, and my throat hurts so bad. And I'm hungry. I don't know how other people stream visual novels, but damn, bro, it's this stuff. Speaking, like reading, for 2 hours. Damn, it's crazy. Probably have to get used to it, but I don't know. I feel like I should take a break. Oh. I mean, sorry, Mike. Not Mike, Mark. You just joined, but I feel like I need a break for at least a couple hours, and maybe I'll come back and stream some more today. But right now I feel like I need this break. Let my throat rest a bit, have something to eat, and then come back later. Hopefully you'll still be around if you would like to check out my stream again. Would appreciate it. But yeah, I think I'll take a break now. It's a good place, I think. We just got to... I feel like this is where the demo ended, right? Right after the phone call. Or was it later? I don't know. I feel like it's a good place. Let's save this. I have autosaves? Oh. Maybe I don't need to save, but I'll save anyway. Just in case. Okay. Then I'll take a break for a couple hours. And then I'll probably be back later. Probably. I'm not gonna promise anything. But I'll probably be back. Okay. Well, see you then, I guess. Bye bye.